How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LS Peeps. Currently the 3rd of November, 2021. Before I continue, guys, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's new to the channel. And if you are not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Give the video a thumbs up. With that said, let's get straight into what I want to talk about today. Obviously, I'm going to be discussing Evergrow and using Evergrow in my example. But what I want to do, basically, the first video I made that I was talking about Evergrow, obviously, I get a lot of comments, and I'm not used to getting so many comments, and maybe I'm a little bit naive. And just assume that everybody online is nice, right? But they're not. So, I've had people basically come in and saying a whole bunch of crap. And the one thing that struck me as interesting, because obviously I've been trading for 25 years and well, more actually. But um, what I found throughout that time is from a psychological point of view, I've had to deal with a lot of things. I've lost money before. I know what that feels like. I was late to the party before on many investments. I've missed investments. I've gone through all of the FOMO and the FUD and all of these things that create, the monster inside that makes you do stupid things and invest in ways that just don't make any sense, right? So, I'm very seasoned. Yeah, I've been around for a very, very long time. So when I see comments like, great analysis, fool, yeah, and you know who you are, it makes me laugh, and it actually triggers a response in me of, a little bit of empathy mixed in with I just want to slap this person because and obviously I'm not saying I would ever do that, but I'm just saying I'm trying to really emphasize, the stupidity of some people, and the selfishness of some people, when it comes to trading and investing. So what happens is this, you can see on the chart in front of you, right down at the bottom, I've put veteran investor. Okay. So these are people who are very seasoned. They've been around for a very, very long time. They've been in and out of investments. They've found a way to, to buy. They've gone through all the psychological barriers. They've gone through all the psychological biases that come up and force you to learn and grow, and they've gone through all of that whilst losing money. That's the whole point, right? You become seasoned and a veteran, and early because you are a veteran. You've been around for a very, very long time, and these people have learned from their mistakes. So they got in very, very early on this project. Okay. And getting in early on a project, is also, it's always a great thing. It's awesome when you can do it, but it's not the be all and end all. And what happens is later down the line, people start to become selfish. They start to become envious and jealous of these people that got in early, which is a disgusting trait as far as I'm concerned. You know, um, but they start to become envious and jealous. I wish I got in there and so on. And genuinely inside, they don't wish this person, or these people the best. They just want the Evergrow to come back down. We're using Evergrow in this example, so they can say, I'm glad that that person didn't make money, and it may not be on a conscious level. It may be on a psychological, on a subconscious level, because if they lose money, then that means they can justify their existence by saying, well, he lost money, I'm glad he lost money because I'm always losing money. And like I said, it's not always conscious. Yeah, it's many times it's on a subconscious level. It's learned behavior, it's habits, over a lifetime of negative thinking, right? But I'm not going to go into that too much. So these veteran investors, they get in early, and they're the wave, and they believe in the product, and they are sitting back and just letting things unfold. And they know the ups and downs and the ebb and flow on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. It doesn't really matter because they're looking at multi-year investment, right? Then you have experienced investors, very similar to veteran investors. They get in quite early. They've paid their dues. They have learned the process of learning. To go through this painful losing money. The painful gut wrenching being in something and watching your investment go to shit. And they get in very, very early, not as early as veteran investors. Or people who found the project very, very early on. There's people who are lucky, obviously, as well, which is fine. But we're just talking about investors, yeah, people who've been around for a while. So they're getting quite early, and again, they ride the wave. They're in this for the long term, right? They understand the mechanics of what's going on. Then you have your average investor who starts to hear about, and again, we'll use Evergrow, starts to hear about Evergrow and they think, okay, this looks great. I'm going to stick a few $100 in this. Yeah. A couple $100, couple $100, couple hundred, euros, whatever, wherever you are, and they get in, They start to make a little bit of money. They're happy. Maybe they sell, after a week, 2 weeks, a month. Maybe they sell, where the, inexperienced investors right at the top are starting to get in, just to illustrate where we are on the chart, you know. But they're not in it for the long haul effectively. They're just jumping in because it's the next best thing. Yeah, they're just looking to make a little bit of money. All right. Then you have your inexperienced investors, and this is what I want to spend the rest of the video talking about. Okay, inexperienced investors, okay, have absolutely no idea what they're doing. Okay, they are pulled in so many different directions by so many different things, whether it's social media, whether it's idiots online telling them what to do, whether it's a scammer. For example, somebody will get scammed by somebody pretending to be one of the Evergrow team, and then they will attack Evergrow and say, "You guys scammed me. This is a scam company," which is absolutely insane, right? But they don't realize that they've been scammed because they're inexperienced. They don't take measures to protect their accounts. They don't take measures to protect their data, right? So, where do you draw the line? These inexperienced investors, can't see the reality that they are the ones that are responsible for screwing everything up in terms of their investment. Where I've put it, inexperienced investors, with the two lines, that's effectively where inexperienced investors get in. They see the move, they jump on the bandwagon way too late. The euphoria kicks in, everybody's excited, it's exploded online, everything's going crazy, ever boom. That's when they get in. And unfortunately, when these people get into the market and it starts to go down, as I've illustrated with the two yellow boxes, the first one, as it's going down, this is where the selfishness kicks in because they've got absolutely no regard for anybody else that's invested in Evergrow. The only thing they care about is themselves. Yeah. Now, you might say, well, quite rightly so, because they're invested, it's their money and so on. But let me just carry on, and I think you'll understand what I'm trying to get at. The moment they start to see that they're losing money, immediately moonshot, and they say, "When are you going to trigger moonshot? When are you going to do the buyback and burn?" And that's the only thing they care about because they can't stand losing money. They don't want to see their money go into a negative because they're not experienced enough. They don't have the mental fortitude to understand and the discipline to understand that if they are in a project that they like, and they're in a project that they trust and believe and have faith in, that all it requires is for you to be patient. This is very early on, and all they have to do is wait. This is normal, but they don't know it's normal. They don't know it's normal, so they start to panic and they start to get irritated. They start to attack people, and so on, all the while putting themselves in the exact same situation that they were in the first place, an inexperienced investor. And then it's just a feedback loop. It's just a constant rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, right? I will just say this: there will always be people getting in at the top. Always. That's just the way it is. There's always going to be people getting in at the top. You can't change it. That's just a fact of life. Yeah. Because um, you always have a new influx of investors, and you've always got new products, new projects, and new influx of, of fresh investors that are very inexperienced. And then they just, the next cycle starts again, and people just get scammed. People just get jump into anything that's moving, anything that's green, anything that's going up. And they're blinded by, and, well, they're blinded by the shiny, the shiny lights, which is no good. Yeah. So the first one drops, moonshot, moonshot. Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? The second one comes, which is what's been happening today. As you can see in the chart in front of you, the smaller yellow box, and again, this is just normal price behavior. I've seen this so many times, it's insane. But it is what it is, right? There's nothing you can say. There's nothing that anybody that can say to me personally that's going to change the way that I see Evergrow. Yeah. Because I've seen it before. I'm experienced. I know this is normal price behavior. If somebody as a veteran gets in where they get in, and then they sell where the inexperienced investors getting in, yeah, and they take the whole move, and let's say they put in 20 grand and they're sitting on millions, that person has the right to sell. Even if it was making a pound or losing money, it's irrelevant. The person has a right to sell. What the inexperienced investor doesn't have the right to do is to stop bitching and moaning about not getting in when they got in, missing the whole move, them not triggering the moonshot, and all of the other things that come with these negative, inexperienced investors. My advice to you is this, okay? And I'm going to finish the video here because I don't want it to go on too long. And that is, take the time, okay, to work on yourself as an investor, okay? When you make a mistake or you're losing money, ask yourself, why are you losing money? Go through the process, go through the ups and downs, go through the pros and cons, break everything down so you understand and you can change. And then when you change, you can then become, as time goes by, an experienced, you become an average investor, then an experienced investor, then a veteran investor. And this doesn't happen to you anymore because you've gone through your process and you've paid your dues, yeah, with blood. You know what I mean? So chill out. Everything's fine. Obviously, as you can see, I've put at the bottom here that this is not financial advice and it's just for educational purposes only. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do with their money. But I just want to kind of put this out there because I think it's important. A lot of people don't talk about things in this way. They're a little bit afraid to just tell it like it is. The reality is people who attack other people, for their own personal misfortunes in life, whether it's an investment or anything else, they're dicks. End of story. And with that said, guys, I'll leave it at that. Take care, and I will speak to you very soon. All the best.